teman-teman, kembali lagi di channel Kata Sindu. Oke, untuk kesempatan kali ini kita akan cobain suara vokal dari speaker SONICGEAR Pandora Halo 2. Jadi buat teman-teman yang suka nonton siaran bola mungkin, atau streaming YouTube, dengerin ceramah, atau mungkin nonton Netflix, itu akan banyak dengerin suara percakapan orang kan. Jadi gak ada salahnya kita cobain suara vokalnya dari speaker ini. Oke, langsung aja kita cobain.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit culture.co.uk to find out more.
Welcome back to On the Sporting Couch with me, Gary Bloom, and former footballer Keith Gillespie. I'd like to look at a very difficult chapter in your life, Keith, and you make a very clear comment on this. When you're accused of rape whilst you're away on a tour in La Manga in Spain, you say in your book, I'm a victim, I always have been a victim, I probably always will be a victim. Did you feel you were a victim of that?
Yeah, without a doubt. There's plenty of things I've done in my life, and I hold my hands up. I've been out of order. With that instance, I felt really angry in terms of what we were forced to go through. It's a crime that nobody wants to be associated with, and it's detrimental to. They're the ones who get it as well. So to be where all of a sudden you're accused of a crime which is a hideous crime, and you've got to spend 9 days in 2 days in police cells, another week in prison, for something that never happened is something that, I still feel angry about it today, that I actually had to go through that. But on another side, I think, it helped me as a person that, I was able to go through such an ordeal.
There seems a connection with your father being a prison officer, and yet this time you're on the other side of the equation.
Yeah, I never ever seen that one coming, but
did you have a sense of what Dad might have been going through when you were a prisoner for those few days?
Yeah, it's something I'd never thought about, but I'm sure in terms of with what he used to do in terms of locking people up, I'm sure it came into his head. But it is something I never thought about, that my dad could be thinking, he'd be out yard time now, he'd be doing this, he'd be doing that, he'd probably be up in his cell now, and wondering what I'm going through, and it was something I never thought about ever.
What was your experience emotionally of being locked up for about a week?
I feel as if I handled it really well in terms of in my head. Obviously there was three of us with Paul Dickoff and Frank Sinclair as well. We shared the same cell, so we went through everything together. But I was the youngest of the three, but in terms of being the most positive, I felt as if I was the one who would keep us going. And we did go through the same emotions, and there is tiny thoughts that creep into your head at times where you're thinking, what if we don't get out of here? But the fact that you're 110% innocent, comes back into your head, and you're like, no, we'll be fine.
So you had teammates with you. How important was it that you were teammates? Did you draw something from each other?
Yeah, well, we had to keep each other going. We lived in each other's pockets, for 9 days, and that's every minute of the day.
Could you have imagined what it would have been like had you been there on your own?
No, I don't know how I would have sort of got through that. Especially being in a foreign country. We were fortunate in that the fellow prisoners, they were able to follow things because it was big news at the time, and they were able to see things on TV and stuff, and they knew after 2 days that these were all lies. They could tell that, so we didn't sort of experience any badness in prison in terms of the fact that we're in prison with them saying we've raped somebody. Other prisoners could take serious offence against other prisoners for that, so we never experienced any badness in there, which was fortunate.
So what happened when you were eventually released on bail and you came back to the UK? Did you feel great shame even then?
Yeah. I remember arriving back to my house, and there's press outside the house, so there's no privacy there. I sort of had all the newspapers from the previous sort of 9 days regarding the whole matters, and I was able to go from day 1 to day 9, and I could see everybody sort of had us guilty, and after about 3 days it turned.
Oke, itu tadi hasil pengujian vokalnya ya teman-teman. Jadi suaranya masih tetap bagus, tidak ada pecah, dan suaranya juga jernih, serta intonasi dan pengucapan orang yang kita dengar tadi, percakapannya juga jelas. Jadi kesimpulannya suaranya bagus, dan buat teman-teman yang mau nonton streaming gak usah khawatir karena suaranya sudah kita tes tadi. So, sekian dulu untuk video review kali ini. Semoga bermanfaat. Jangan lupa di subscribe, like, dan di share. Kemudian jika ada pertanyaan langsung aja tinggalin di kolom komentar teman-teman. Oke, mungkin sekian itu dulu dari saya. Sampai berjumpa lagi dan bye-bye.